So there I was on a beautiful Thursday afternoon in my dorm, being a productive student, watching my favorite YouTuber, and of course, taking a few small breaks in between to work on my homework. That's until I realized I have a final exam the next day. I have an 80% in the class, but I hope to bring the grade up to at least a 90%. But in order to get that grade, I need over 100% on the final. If you're anything like me, you relate to the previous clip a little too much. Coming to the realization that you have an exam the next day when you still haven't studied will have you rethinking all your life choices. After finally accepting the situation, you have to start studying. You can always go ahead and do what many students do, which is to stay up all night cramming material just for you to forget half of what you studied come exam time. Instead, today I will be teaching you the best methods to prepare for that exam only one day in advance, so you can walk into the exam hall confident that you will ace that test. The first mistake people make in this situation is to immediately hit the books and start studying. In this moment, it's likely that you are very stressed and can only think about studying for this exam. The stress can make you much less productive when what you need most is to be in the right headspace. Nishika Malwani, in her 2022 article, Tomorrow is My Exam, outlines many good ways to de stress the day before an exam. To de stress, the very first thing you should do is go outside for some fresh air and light exercise. Back at the room, pack your exam bag so you don't have to do it the day of the exam. Then, you should schedule what time you have available to study, but make sure to go to bed at a reasonable time so you can get good sleep, leaving you feeling refreshed the day of the exam. Before you start to study, you need to make some preparations. Laura Brown's 2022 Save the Student article contains great tips on how to prepare well. Firstly, you should move to a dedicated workspace, whether that be the library or a study room, to avoid distractions. Your phone can also be a distraction, so I recommend putting it away. Finally, you should know what to specifically study, such as your personal notes, lecture slides, or videos. It's now time to start studying. The article's 10 effective study methods to use this year and brain based techniques for retention of information both outline many great study methods. If you plan on using a textbook to study, the SQ3R method is for you. First, survey the text looking at titles and headers. As you survey, ask yourself questions. Then read important sections, and in those sections, recite answers to questions in your words and review difficult material. If you're looking to retain information, the best way to retain content is to first take a practice test or use flashcards to determine what you already know. Then use techniques such as grouping, rhymes, or acronyms to learn and retain the information you don't know. Now it's the morning before the exam. If you followed my steps, you are prepared for whatever the exam throws your way. You should know the material, be well rested, and have a bag packed. If you have time to spare, go over your notes using the study methods mentioned before to further reinforce your knowledge. All that's left for you now is to ace that exam.